If my dad gave me $1 million and I didn't turn into something decent,
Yeah, exactly.
Dad'd be like, get the out.
You idiot. Yeah. It's Friday, which means we're back with another Q&A. Myself and Paddy are here after what was one of the most ridiculous weeks in football to answer all of your questions. That, and we also have the answers to this week's great debate, which you guys voted on in a poll in Wednesday's Daily. But we'll get to that in a minute. As for starters, Paddy,
I think you're up first.
I will go
actually.
first.
Yeah.
Ooh, switching the order. We don't want to ruin the cosmic universe. Right. Dackless, I think is how you pronounce it.
Lockless, Douglas.
There's an Australian-British thing going on here. Who has said, do you think that Manchester United's comeback is the greatest in history, and will they go any further in the Champions League?
I don't even think it's the greatest for Man United. I mean, you go back to '99, Bayern, I think that was better. Also think that Liverpool in Istanbul was better than this. And this is just talking recent years too,
yeah,
by
that's
the way.
recent, yeah.
So in answer to this, Lockless, I don't know. It was a terrific game. It was a great comeback. A little bit of an element of luck, and I think we'll talk about that later in the show.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's the greatest in history.
I also feel like if Ajax didn't do it the night before, people wouldn't be on the whole comeback hype.
Maybe.
But we were on the comeback hype and did do a video on Tuesday evening about 10 of the greatest. So make sure you also check that out. That'll be in the description, the link to that.
Seamless plug. Let's move on to the next one from SKR23. Kimpembe's handball was really controversial versus Man United. Do you think it was a handball, and why?
This is obviously the controversial, because there are new handball rules coming in next season.
Yeah.
The whole point is that it stopped an attempt on goal. Whether that was going in or not, it looked like it clearly wasn't going in. That's still the rules, and I think that's going to be more obvious from next season. That if it stops the forward momentum of play, it's still a handball, whether he meant it or not.
And at least then it's a far more black and white case in this whole intent thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I think what I called that the other night, that's a VAR handball, that is. You know, like the referee did not give it. It's only come back because of VAR, which is of course the point of it. But then you're still in slow motion trying to judge the intent of the player to affect the play through their hand. And I think that's almost impossible to do whether you have VAR or not. But VAR, of course, allowing us to review, really puts that in the spotlight. So I think the changes to the handball law, to be honest, are well overdue.
Will help. Yeah, I think so. The thing is as well.
Do you think it was a handball though? That was the question here.
Oh boy, wow, it stumped me. Yeah. I guess so, yeah.
I'm going to say yes. I don't necessarily like it, but I think
yes.
I
don't agree. But the problem is, people have arms. You can't just get rid of
and
your
you can't
arms.
You can't jump like like this either. Yeah.
Defending wise, very poor. Never turn your back on the ball like that in the first place.
Yeah, you should be telling Kimpembe how to defend.
Yeah. I will tell him how to defend if you ever speak to him. But for the next question from Steve Y, who says, do you think now that PSG is out of the Champions League, Mbappe or Neymar will leave the club in the summer?
So I don't think, my gut feeling says Mbappe is going nowhere, to be honest. I don't think there's been too much talk about this apart from some of the more sensational headlines, which I don't put any credence in. But I think Neymar just does what he wants. So honestly, if he wants to leave this summer, he will force a way to make that happen. I think, as we've talked about a little bit before, there's obviously talk about him going back to Barcelona. I still think Real Madrid, if they get the right coach, it could be the place Neymar heads in the summer. But for sure, I don't think the Champions League has even changed things anyway. I think Neymar's going to do what he wants. Mbappe will stay for me.
I still want to see Neymar in the knockouts with PSG though, because he's been injured for the 2 years that he's been there.
I've got bad news for you, mate.
Oh no, what happened?
They're out.
Yeah, no, but it's in like one more season. I still just want to see how Neymar and PSG would do.
All right, fair enough. To me, from Dion van der Deur, you know I'm no good at these names. The first quick fire, and it's a quick fire, which is the best ones. We've actually had a lot of questions about quick fires, and they've ended up being about 15 questions. Not really a quick fire. So let's stick to the quick fires from Dion. Ajax for the semi-finals.
Yes, why not?
Yeah. You right there? Cool. Bale to Man United.
Ooh. No, I can't see that happening.
No?
They're going with a more youthful look.
Okay. Will you shave your beard?
Well, does it need to be shaved?
That's a good question.
It's nothing like horrendous at the moment.
This is where it ends, unfortunately. So I've got no idea what Dion actually thinks of your beard, but the fact that he's asking you to shave it makes me think he doesn't like it.
I do trim it every so often, but...
Will you?
No. No. What if I have like a real little baby face underneath?
You don't.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, from Samrat, who said, Ole's at the wheel, tell me how good it feels.
Great question.
A reference to that fantastic Manchester United song.
Yes, great question.
How good does it feel?
If you're a Man United fan, pretty good this week. Yeah. And not just this week, in recent weeks as well. We talked about the fact that we didn't see, I think a few weeks ago, we didn't see Solskjaer taking on the job full time. And I think actually everyone expected it just to be in a caretaker, everyone expected to be in a caretaker position. But I think the last few weeks, has everyone changed their mind?
It must have done.
Yeah.
I can't see why not.
No, I can't see why not
that's
either.
That's unbelievable against PSG.
Yeah. But not just PSG. I mean, the league, the way they've rejuvenated their campaign there, you can't not give it to him. We said that last week, and we say it again with more determination this week. I think he needs to stay now, and he will. Yeah.
Good news. That means they won't be taking Pochettino.
Yeah. Real Madrid will anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. From Devam Shet, does Romelu Lukaku deserve more first-team football based on his current form?
He's getting it at the moment. I actually mentioned this the other day. He's getting it. Because of the injuries to Martial, who's still out. Rashford's actually only just come back from injury. He's taken his chance.
Yeah.
He's completely seen the window of opportunity. He started at right wing for a few games, forced himself into the middle, and absolutely he should be playing. He's the hottest striker in Europe at the moment. So
you're just saying that because you put him in your player rankings this week, didn't you?
Hey, three 2-goal hauls in a row.
Yeah, I agree. I still don't think that if the whole of that United squad is fit, that even in this current form, Solskjaer would start him.
Really?
It's controversial, I know. But I think that he would see...
Could Lukaku and Rashford start up front together? Central together, so no wide players?
It would be pretty cool. But I don't know.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
That's a football manager question, that one.
Yeah.
You're up.
Okay, perfect. So next up from Vivek Chandy. Oh, some quick fire once again. Nice. Okay, Ramos versus Neymar for the biggest loser. Not the programme, I don't need to lose weight. Who is the biggest loser?
To be honest, I don't think either of them are losers. Yeah. But I think probably Ramos is feeling worse this week.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I would say. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Navas or Courtois?
Courtois. Still not a great season, but Courtois.
Rashford versus Dembele. Who is more likely to succeed? That's a tough one.
We've gone back and forth on this a few times the last couple of weeks. I think if Dembele gets his head right, Dembele is the more talented player.
Yeah. Who would you prefer as Barca's next number 9? Something which we actually did a video on Wednesday, so you can also check that out.
Stop milking
I'm going to plug every video.
Go on.
It's you.
Right.
Who would you prefer?
Who would I prefer? Okay, there's no options there. I mean, I think Suarez might still be there for a little while yet. It's a really tough question. I think they would love Neymar. I think they would love Neymar to come back and really assume that central role. But who else is there out there?
Well, that's what you can check the video for. Okay, no, but without spoiling it too much.
Who did you mention in your video?
Without spoiling it too much, Luka Jovic is the one that's been linked. Yeah. Apparently, have already agreed terms.
Yeah.
Maxi Gomez, also from Celta.
Yeah.
Was quite
obviously, Timo Werner, one of the. But actually, to be honest, Neymar is easily head and shoulders above all those players.
I'm not sure he's number 9 though.
I think he can play central.
Yeah.
I think he can play central. Yeah.
It depends who Barcelona will play on the wing, because if Dembele's in fine form, and if Coutinho there, or even Malcolm comes good.
Yep.
So a very fluid concept, the Barcelona attacking line. And lastly, Bayern versus Liverpool. Who's going to win?
I feel like it's going to be Bayern.
I actually think so as well.
Why do we agree all the time?
I don't know.
Makes me question myself.
The reason is that 3 of the last 4 games, Liverpool have failed to score.
Yeah.
They've kept clean sheets, but they failed to score, and
The arcs of form are definitely going in opposite directions.
Bayern's favour,
And I also like the way that Bayern played out that first leg. I think that Liverpool, there's a few squeaking going on with those wheels, both in the Premier League and in the Champions League. So unfortunately, I think for Liverpool fans, I see Bayern.
But we could be wrong, because I predicted PSG and Real Madrid to go through this week.
We normally are, so do the opposite.
Okay, it's me again.
Yeah.
You've hit with a few in a row. From Rafael Tech, who said, what do you think about the situation with Müller, Boateng and Hummels regarding international football, who obviously this week told that they have no more career in international football.
And this is a really strange and I think silly move by Löw and the German national team here.
Yeah.
Just stop picking him.
Yeah, I know.
Just
Why
say,
do you need
hey,
to
listen,
tell them?
we're going to give some other guys a chance. You're still in the mix. Play well. Get back to fitness. In terms of Boateng, for example, had a fair bit of time on the sidelines. You're still in the mix, but we might go with someone else in the near future. Because what happens next year? So I would say that now we have Tar and maybe Zula, who are the two obvious choices for Germany at the back.
Yeah.
What happens if next year one does their knee, and then Boateng has the best season of his career, now he's fit again?
Yeah, that's kind of...
And we're like, sorry, we already said no. Or they go begging back to the player on hands and knees and say, please come back. I would tell him to get lost, to be honest.
But when did this ever become a thing? Surely it was the player who announced their international retirement.
Well, I think after the failure of the World Cup for Germany, there was a lot of talk about really sort of, cleaning house a little bit and getting rid of some of these older players. Hummels, for example, I think he's lost too much pace to be an asset to Germany anymore. Muller's still having a solid enough
29.
season. Exactly. Well, the oldest is, I think they're 30. Yeah, Hummels and Boateng are both 30. So still, with arguably a lot of good football to play ahead of him, I really don't see how they've gone about making this decision in the right way, Germany.
Maybe they just want to look like they're cleaning up their act.
But then again, like we're now 6-7 months after the World Cup when it actually there were calls to happen. So it's like Löw's like, well, I haven't been in the press recently, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to chop down at Bayern and say, yeah, we don't need 3 of your players anymore. Yeah. It really does. I think it's a terrible, terrible way to approach it.
You need to let them go out the honourable way. Shout out to Marouane Fellaini, who actually announced his international retirement from Belgium.
There you go.
That's the way to do it, Marouane, from China.
Shout out to Fellaini.
Over Skype.
Finally, my question again. Is Alexis Sanchez and Bale a good replacement for Robbery? Robbery, yes, for Robin and Ribéry.
Affectionately known as Robbery.
Yeah.
Sanchez and Bale. I'm not so sure in the long run, because they're only a few years behind Robin and Ribéry. We'll get it right.
I'm actually sure. I'm sure that they are both definitely not the future for Bayern.
Yeah, no.
And I'd be very surprised if Bayern go down that route.
They're both almost 30 and injury prone, and Sanchez is a bit of a crybaby at times.
Not exactly coming off the greatest form of their careers either. So I really don't see this. We saw in January with Bayern's pursuit of Hudson-Odoi, that's where they see the future. Yeah. They've got Gnabry, who's just signed a long-term deal as well. They got plenty of. They'll go young. They'll go and Coman as well. Yeah. They'll go young. They won't go back to these high-priced, potentially.
It would just stifle the careers of the younger players as well.
Agreed. Yeah.
Next up from Ankit Argaval, who said, we've got a big one here. Who is more likely to win the league, Liverpool or Dortmund? Both are going through a difficult phase and are almost on the verge of bottling their chance. Who should win, according to you, and why? Who should win?
I don't think either of them are going to win the league, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was at Dortmund against Spurs this week, up in Dortmund, and they did have a good first half, but I think the moral of the story was they still lost 1-0, and I think they've lost that cutting edge they had at the start of the season. So I think Dortmund are going to unfortunately relinquish the spot to Bayern, the usual holders of that. And for Liverpool's point of view, we spoke about it just before, I think there's just a few signs they've got some aches and pains in terms of their form, and I think City are going to probably...
Wait, so Bayern and Dortmund are level at the moment on points?
But goal difference being the difference.
City are a point ahead.
So, unfortunately, if you're a Dortmund or a Liverpool fan, I think neither are going to win the title this season.
Jurgen Klopp is the common denominator here.
You blame him. Patient zero. Yeah. All right, my turn from Shifat Ayon. Do you think Mo Salah was a one-season wonder?
No.
No.
He's like second in the goal scoring chart. He's a fantastic player. Recently, he's got 1 in the last 7. He's gone off the boil. When it comes to being a one-season wonder, it's very hard to back up the success he did last year with 31 Premier League goals. A one-season wonder would be someone who's just like completely off. Like we're talking not even in the team. Like just score 2 or 3 goals. I mean, that would be incredibly harsh to call them one season.
I think what Mo Salah showed this season is that he's not Messi. You know,
Yeah.
like, you know, he wasn't able to
one is,
sustain
but
that incredible, you know, form last season. But as you just said, no one is, or very few are. And I think Mo Salah still had a very fine season, just not quite as good as last.
And talking of Mo Salah,
Yeah.
we come on to Wednesday's great debate, which we left in Wednesday's Daily a poll for you guys to vote on the question from our Onefootball newsroom, which was who will finish as the Premier League Golden Boot winner. So we had the four options: Aguero, who's currently on 18, Salah on 17, and Aubameyang and Kane tied on 16. Now, you want to go first before we reveal the vote? Who are you going for?
Well, I think it's probably out of the top two, to be clear. I think Kane really doesn't have the form at the moment, and I think Aubameyang's the same. So I do believe City are going to win. So I'm going to take Aguero, which is really on the fence, of course, because he's already leading. But yeah, I would say Aguero.
I'm going to say Harry Kane.
Of course you would.
The thing is, I'm going to go with my heart a little bit with Harry Kane. My head says Aguero. He's in the best team and he's in the best form, so that would make sense. But just a little bit of me is hoping for Harry Kane. However, I'm obviously the one who's not talking a lot of sense because 80%, 68% of you agreed with Paddy, with Aguero. With Salah in second, Aubameyang and Kane way down on 9 and 8% respectively. So an overwhelming victory for Aguero, and it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, exactly.
Kasitij Bakshi.
It's a good effort.
Yeah, well, you know,
I would have butchered that way worse. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Do you think that Ligt should come to Arsenal or United to play better and be consistent, or move to Barcelona, which itself is a very disciplined club, where if he doesn't perform, he might be sidelined like Coutinho? Huh.
There's a lot in that question.
Yeah.
But I think the main part is, should he go to Arsenal and United, Arsenal or United or Barcelona? I guess I would say Barcelona.
Yeah.
I think we've spoken a little bit about him in the last couple of weeks too. Barcelona, of course, being a pretty good place for a young, talented Dutch player to go. I think his style will suit Barcelona quite well. And with the team going through a bit of a regeneration with some of their older players potentially at the end of their careers, and a few of their younger players coming through, like De Jong will be there next year, of course, but Dembele. A look at a younger generation, I think it's perfect for De Ligt. Yeah,
he's not going to cost too much. He's got room to grow into. It's not like Coutinho, who had to hit the ground running because he was a 26-year-old who cost 135 million.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and going to Arsenal or Man U is not... it's a step up in terms of the league, but he's in the quarterfinals of the Champions League with Ajax, so that immediately rules Arsenal out and Manchester United.
You can even question if it's a step up in the league, to be honest.
Yeah.
Maybe in their competitiveness overall over the season, but Jesus, it's still going to be a very, very
he'll still
formidable,
get consistent game time.
Very formidable step up for the kid anyway. But yeah, Barcelona it is. I think to our last one actually, and to a last-minute quick fire from Aaron O'Donnell, giving myself all the easy names to pronounce here.
Yeah.
Zane or Mane? It's great. Yeah.
Ooh. I prefer Sane. Mane's on better form, but I prefer Sane.
Okay. Kane or Aubameyang?
I can't believe this is a question still. Kane. He's by far the better footballer.
All right.
Unbelievable.
All right.
Anyway.
Leave your comments below on all Matt's hot takes today. Sancho or Dembele?
I think Dembele's more talented, but I'm a big fan of Sancho. For what he's done,
Well, you'll have a way to demonstrate that again in the last one. Vinicius or Sancho?
Vinicius.
Ooh.
It's who could be better.
Yeah.
I think Vinicius could go on to be an absolute world beater. Sancho probably up there as well. I think I've both be unbelievable. From what I've seen from Vinicius, he's pretty much carrying the hopes of a fallen giant in Real Madrid at the moment. Like, the news that an 18-year-old's out for 2 months, I've never seen it hit a team so hard, especially someone like Real Madrid.
We should put some of your hot takes in a time capsule.
Yeah.
And then bring them out later and just go, Matt.
That's pretty much what YouTube is.
What the hell were you thinking?
Honestly, I think Sancho will go on to be amazing, but Vinicius he's different gravy. Anyway, I think that's it.
That is it.
I think that's all from us for today's Friday's Q&A. Thank you very much, Paddy. Yet again, as always, leave your questions down below and watch out for our community post in the upcoming week where you can leave all your questions for next week's Q&A, but we won't be here next week.
Surprise guests and hosts.
Yeah, surprise guests. To find out who it is, of course, tune in next Friday. But yeah, have a great week, guys, and we'll see you next time.